Kraven the Hunter, the final Sony Spider-Man spin-off movie, is in theaters now. And if you haven't seen it, and I know you haven't, click out of here and go watch it because we're talking the good, the bad, and the spoilers. First positive of this movie, the actors. Russell Crowe's in here, he's great. Aaron Taylor Johnson puts in a great performance as Kraven the Hunter. He makes him look very tough in the action scenes. It's a great combination of his actual physicality with a little CGI enhancement. And personally, I didn't mind the performance of the actor who played Rhino in here. Now, I'm someone who discovered Rhino in the Spider Man cartoon series, so I didn't mind this actor hamming it up as Rhino. It felt very serious actor in a comic book movie, thinking he needed to kind of play it over the top. I didn't mind that, but your mileage may vary. A for effort on the actor's part overall, it's just too little too late. First negative, the pacing. Sony released the first 8 minutes of this movie online to try to get people to go see it, and I don't know why, because not only does it take 4 minutes and 10 seconds of that 8 minutes for the action to kick in, but throughout that 8 minutes, there's characters speaking Russian with English subtitles, but you can't pause in the movie theater to read the subtitles, so that just made me want to watch it at home even more. So that was an odd decision on their part. Second positive, though, when we do get action scenes, they're great. They're violent, they're bloody, there's a couple of gruesome death scenes throughout this thing. Like I said, Aaron Taylor Johnson makes Craven look great throughout that whole thing. Good action scenes, maybe not enough of them. Going back to the issue with the pacing, besides those first 8 minutes, there's way too much setup in this movie. There's way too much young Kraven the Hunter origin story. I thought we'd get like one or two scenes with young Kraven. No, we get like half this movie is set up an origin story. And you might say, well, it's the first movie. Of course it's origin story. No, this was supposed to be a trilogy originally. And once they realized they weren't going to get to do that because this movie is expected to tank, it feels like they shoved as much from what would have been those second and third movies into this one. Character wise, plot wise, character motivation wise, they just threw it all in one big blender, and it's kind of a mess as a result of that. Didn't like the pacing on that. And while we're on the negative side, didn't like the editing in here really. There's a couple of quick cuts I didn't like. There's a couple of shots that go from night to day. There's bad ADR in here. But, positive side, tonally, the editing did do a good job. There's bloody violence in here. It's R-rated. Craven unalives a guy at one point with a saber-toothed tiger tooth. Is this Spider-Man or Power Rangers? So tonally, they did do a good job at making this R-rated movie feel different from your average Spider-Man movie, from your average MCU movie. But again, it's just too little too late, unfortunately. Biggest negative, obviously, no Spider-Man in here, but that's to be expected at this point. And biggest positive, at least this universe, mercifully, is finally over. Now that Sony's focusing more on Spider-Man himself, what Spider-Man projects do you want to see turned into movies or TV shows? Comment down below with that. Comment down below if you saw Kraven. Let's talk all things Spider-Man in the comments, and we'll be back soon, so come back soon and take another bite of the GeeKlare.